Treasurer's report.
General fund, $103,177. Local share, $26,391. State fund, $39,059. Sewage escrow, $31,973. Payroll account, $11,102. Chartiers Creek fund, $17,525. General obligation bond, $56,415, and activity and impact fee is $37,410.
Does that include the tax anticipation?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Everything's in.
And it does not include the $250, which we will be getting within 2 weeks for
Is
the
that
bridge.
That's.
Yes,
what you
that'll
want.
be reimbursed,
Okay. So
$250.
you got confirmation from them that they're
Yes,
processing the check.
and it'll be probably ACH deposited in the account rather than a check.
Good job.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I'll make that
For
motion.
audit. Or to approve it. Approve, it's always just a
Audit.
motion for audit.
Second. Move. Second.
Yeah, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Building permits, Julie.
Okay, we have one permit, and, 6 permits for the month of March, and the total is $1,613.
Okay. Bill approval and check signing. Do you have a motion to approve bills and check signing?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion approved. Okay, no visitors on this. So we go to old business. We really don't have anything as far as dealing with old business. So we have new business. Covat subdivision. I think Harold. That's not Harold. Where's Harold? There it is. Okay, that Covat subdivision on that.
This is a Covat subdivision. It was actually turned in October.
Yeah.
It went through the zoning hearing board, and now the engineer has it, the owner has the Mylar, because it went back to them because it went through the zoning hearing board and it was deemed approved. But it still needs to be approved by the supervisors, because if there was a variance that was needed to be issued, that didn't get issued, so it's deemed approved. So it still needs to go through you guys. And basically, all they're doing is it's like almost a 39-acre property, and they're dividing up into 13 acres each, approximately. The variance that they applied for, there's a section in the ordinance that says that the maximum is 2 acres, and that variance, we're asking for relief from that 2 acre. Otherwise, our engineer has done his review. I have his review letter at the Washington County. I also have my letter that I wrote about the deed approval.
So is that up for approval now by the board?
Yes.
That is an item you need to add to your agenda. Okay.
No, it's on.
It's on the
Is it on there? That's
Yeah.
Covat, yeah. The other thing you need to add, I just looked through my notes, the burning ordinance. We made the changes that Mr. Sabat suggested at last month's meeting, so, okay, the board can decide how they want to proceed.
All right, on the Covat subdivision, I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay.
A second.
Okay, take a vote on that, please. Matt?
Mr. Sabat?
Yes.
Mr. Castellacqua?
Yes.
Mr. Duncan?
Yes. Before we move on, Harold, tell me once again, why was it deemed approved?
There was 2 zoning hearing board meetings set up. There was no quorum.
So they didn't have the hearing within 60
And
days.
the 60 days we had was up. Because the second one was scheduled on the 13th, and there was 3 hearings that were all going to be there 60 days with like the 21st, 22nd. So
Well, I mean, that can't happen in the future. We've got to keep a better handle on it.
Well, I agree, and that's why I questioned the appointment we were making. And that appointee hasn't shown up twice. But I thought you had a remedy to that, and that might have been that could we appoint a alternate?
You
You can do that. Yeah, for the zoning hearing board, you can.
And I was going to again suggest that we appoint Barry Blows of Ridgewood, Walnut Ridge plan. You'd have to get the address as an alternate to the zoning hearing board, because as Gary said, that can never happen
Yeah.
again.
But did you not have two of the three members weren't there either? You just had one member?
Jim Fiala.
Okay.
The second meeting was set up and they were going to be two members coming, but the second member was coming once a month.
So, I mean, Harold, what we need to do, if we're ever presented with that again, is ask the applicant to sign a waiver, agreeing to the continuance, so the board can convene. Because an applicant can waive the 60-day rule, that's what I'm saying. We can make that with the alternate. Can we make that motion?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a motion that we put Barry Blows on there as an alternate. He wants to serve in the township in
Good.
some capacity. He saw me at Sears, he said I'd serve on the planning commission or whatever. I said, I'll see what I can do, so this might be a good fit for him.
Good. Well, you want to make that motion?
Moved.
So you want to second it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a vote on it, please. Barry Blows?
B-L-O-S-E.
Yeah.
B-L-O-S-E.
Yeah.
He served on the township planning,
Yeah, I know
I want
about
to
it.
say before. You'll have to notify him.
Okay, Mr. Junto?
Yes.
Mr. Pasalakwa?
Yes.
Mr. Sabat?
Yes.
Okay, and I guess that burning ordinance.
On the burning ordinance, I think the only thing we're changing is we're moving the Tuesdays and
Time.
Saturdays to 9 to 5 rather than 8
Right,
to
that's
5.
what you said, and all their aspects remain in place. Remain in place, that's what the ordinance is. Right.
And it was advertised. That's
Yep.
on the paper.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion we approve that.
Second. Okay, could we have a vote on that, please?
Mr. Junto?
Yes.
Mr. Sabat?
Yes.
Mr. Pasalakwa?
Okay. Police chief report.
Thank you. For the month of March, we had a total of 173 calls, 3,422 miles patrolled. The total reports requested through insurances and such were 12. For the police overtime for the month, we had 82 hours of total overtime. That regular overtime was 13 hours, court overtime was 6, and through our traffic grant and special details, there were a total of 63 hours of overtime. The total cost for the overtime hours for the township was $3,291.17. The compensation reimbursement for all the details was $3,359.25. So it was roughly plus $70, $60. On March 19th, we began our second wave for aggressive driving enforcement. There are a projected of 44 hours for that enforcement between March 19th and April 29th. We will have extra officers out looking for violations such as the speeding, running red lights, stop sign violations and such, and other aggressive actions. These hours will be completely reimbursed following the wave. Also next week, in the Washington Crown Center, we will be conducting the ALICE training for the mall and its employees. That's to prepare them for any traumatic or violent incidents that occur at the mall. And I don't know what the status of that is as far as how many members from the mall will be there. We won't know that until we actually go down. But that'll be open to all the stores and mall employees.
That'd be an evening one?
No, we're doing that during the day.
During the day.
9 a.m. before the mall would physically.
What day is that one?
18th. I'm sorry, I was supposed to let you know that.
Yeah.
Hey, Harold, it's the 18th. And I believe it was 9. I think we're going down around 8:30 if you want to join us down there. I'll sing with you. You're welcome to, Dave. Okay. It's the 18th. And finally, I spoke with Chief Warner a couple different times, actually, up at the Trinity Area School District. And I requested the use of the schools through the summer a couple of different times to train our officers for critical incident responses. such as the police entries into buildings, direct-to-threat tactics for active shooters, and tactical rescues also during those types of events. And he stated the school district is more than happy to allow us to do that. In fact, he encouraged us to try and do that. Currently, we only have 3 officers within the department that have any tactical or SWAT training, and it'd be beneficial to everybody, especially the couple younger people we have in. And finally, once again, I would like to, as far as hiring, I would like to request 2 things actually. That the board, once again, since January, requests the possibility of you considering a full-time hire to replace Ty Bell from 2016, actually. And in addition to that, if there's a cost breakdown for that, a new hire cost base rate would be $4.20 higher than what a part-time officer makes. So that's just a little variable there. The officers that we have, I do not know their status on benefits, whether they would need them or not. But just something for the board to consider for that. And also, I know we've had a couple of discussions, and correct me, Martha, please, if I'm wrong, about adding a couple incentives for part-timers so that we can advertise to try and get some applications. Last 2 applications, we've had 1. So I know Mr. Junko is aware of that. I believe Mr. Sabat's aware of that as far as the guaranteed hours and benefit plan. And are you aware of that, Sylvia?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know I spoke with Martha today just about getting an ad out to try and get something to get people to respond and want to be here. Kind of a recruiting tactic. So those 2 things, I'll leave that to the board's discretion.
Have you got anything from Mr. Bailey?
Nothing in right. I spoke with him on the phone. He said he has absolutely no objections.
Did you get something in writing?
Well, I was trying to work on it. I didn't
That's
get it
what I'm
finished.
saying.
I didn't quite get it
So
finished.
that's the memorandum of understanding,
Right.
that
Yeah.
doesn't become a,
And he said he would
An
sign off
issue.
on that.
Okay.
He said he would sign off on that. I was just hoping today to either maybe get the process going.
Yeah, I'd like to get it going.
So, or one of the others. So
Okay.
that's all I have.
well, I
Thank
have a
you.
question.
Sure.
Do you think it's necessary for our township to have a pregnancy policy? We see more and more females applying for police jobs, and we encountered this in North Strabane recently.
Okay. I've honestly never thought of it.
It's
I
important
just-
to have it before you got to deal with
I
it.
just
probably.
assumed that was under the family medical leave, but I
There's
very well could be wrong about that. I
New
don't
case
know.
law coming down, making it a disability, an ADA issue, in order to get away from that, the pregnancy policy will establish, if you have administrative light-duty type work without creating a light-duty guaranteed job, it's just for a pregnancy situation. In fact, I can send you the policy that was adopted. We worked on that extensively, and there was union involvement, there was private attorney involvement, threatening different lawsuits under the federal acts. And so we came up with something to settle it. So I'll
If you
send
could
it.
get that done, I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you.